And we're back live at the bottom of the hour. Sorry to have left you for so long. However, you must understand the commercial breaks are a necessity to keep the station running. If you're just tuning in, you're just in time for the afternoon radio news, your only source for the latest goings-on in the little corner of our post-apocalyptic wasteland we call home. Today is the 9th of April by the studio calendar I made up anyway. Do you realize what that means? It's Friday. Time to relax and enjoy the weekend. I'm sure you're tired of punching the clock each day, every morning rising to return to the humdrum day-to-day of the life of a working man, a life you chose and regret that has left you trapped, unable to escape as your mind slips from reality, as your life ebbs away not unlike sands in an hourglass, never able to leave until your youth has abandoned you, until your kin have met their reapers. But today, Friday, we might escape it all and enjoy ourselves, if only for a night. I think I'll enjoy a glass of glowberry wine to mark the occasion. Up first, the weather. It's no secret that N.S. Melina has ravaged our home. Even our studio has sustained some damage. Our repair team, while few in number, work tirelessly to keep us on the air for you around the clock. Countless settlements have been lost under the rising tide of the storm. Even when she passes in a few days, and the waters recede, the areas may be too damaged, too contaminated to return to. As well, the waters of our wasteland hide terrible secrets. Returning to these lost settlements may reveal secrets that had better been left hidden in the murky depths of our irradiated shores. Fortunately, Melina should be exiting our broadcasting range within the next 2 days, when she will no longer be our problem. As for now, however, her torrential downpour continues over our heads. Wind speeds rise, and while we presently cannot accurately calculate how fast these winds travel, we're receiving reports of some shelters being lost to the winds and a number of connoisseurs falling from the heavens when the winds weaken. The storm aside, temperatures will reach a high of 46 C, a low of minus 19 C tonight, and pollen is being kept at bay by the storm, but is expected to rise when the storm clears. That's it for the weather, but it's time now to discuss our refugee crisis, the AMM, NSD, and Oakland. As you know, NS Melina has displaced many from their communities and homes. They're growing desperate and struggling to survive as they're turned away from every safe settlement they cross. In their hour of need, however, the Knoll and Mug Bandit Alliance have opened the town of Oakland to these poor souls. A previously abandoned suburb from the world that was, with well-fortified walls, armed defenders, resources enough to feed an army, the offer was too tempting to resist for many refugees. Hordes of them took to the gates of Oakland, where they were met with smiles, sympathy, and warm food. Their altruism is questionable at best. The Mugs and Knolls are bandits after all, thieves of desperation who prey on those unable to defend themselves. Yet they'd offer their ill-gotten goods freely. The official stance of this station is that any considering travel to Oakland use extreme caution, and consider all available options. No choice for you moving forward will be easy, but you must survive. The NSD shares the concerns of this station, however. In a public statement, Sheriff Bert Rockley had this to say: "Best stay clear of Oakland. Folks head in, none come back. Why's that? Simple. Those scoundrels want something from each one they take in. I've got reasonable intel they're fixing to be sold off to the Riveter." Sheriff Bert Rockley declined to answer follow-up questions. The NSD has posted armed patrols surrounding Oakland and has reportedly arrested any refugees for suspicious behavior as they approach the town. And while we have been unable to confirm these particular reports, they do come from a trusted, reliable source. That same source is acting as our anonymous informant from within Oakland. Thanks to his or her tireless efforts, we are aware as to how refugees are being treated within the walls of Oakland. Refugees, it seems, are being treated fairly within the town. They must surrender weapons and declare their property on entry, but save for weapons and ammunition, nothing is taken. There are a number of houses dedicated to refugee housing, and while privacy is limited, by all accounts, the Nolan Mugs are doing the best they can to accommodate their new guests, going so far as to provide hot food, drinkable water, and aid in education for the youth among the displaced souls. When questioned as to why they're doing this, one bandit said, and I paraphrase here, "We've all fallen on hard times, but we got lucky and found Mole Hill. The place was loaded with supplies. Seemed only right to help. It's important to note, Mole Hill is what the Knolls and Mugs have taken to calling Oakland." Moving on, the AMM. While the AMM has not made any official statements regarding Oakland, they have been found redirecting refugees outside of the town and along the roads leading to it, guiding them to Camp Forsyth, an AMM training facility. Refugees on arrival are given the option to stay and join AMM with a free room, food, water, and safety. It's a hard deal to pass up when the alternative is to be released into the irradiated storm. We've been told that, on refusal, individuals are instructed to leave immediately, and, if within 3 kilometers of the facility, in 5 minutes, will be treated as hostile agents. Refugees are then asked if they're sure they wish to turn down the offer. Meanwhile, camps continue to crowd outside the walls of safe settlements. Lightly armed patrols from the NSD and AMM keep the peace, though it is a fragile one. With small brawls breaking out through the camps of refugees, petty crimes being ignored, and hunger running wild, I feel we sit on a powder keg waiting to burst. When it does, each city that has turned away these poor souls may consider themselves under siege. I would implore all settlements to welcome as many refugees as you are able to sustain. We are all stuck in this wasteland together after all. It would not have been so hard for any among you to be the refugee and they be the guard at the gate. To all suffering in these uncertain times, I offer my deepest sympathy. I wish you well, and good luck. I believe now it is time for a little segment I like to call pre-recorded sponsored messages. Don't touch that dial though, because we'll be right back with more of the latest goings-on in this beautiful little corner of the post-apocalyptic wasteland we call home. Okay, Jenny, I listened to the archived broadcast. You've got to remember to edit these recordings. We need a seamless transition from the show to the commercials. I understand it was your first time. I'm just letting you know. You have to, at the very least, trim the unnecessary bits. Alright? Alright. No worries though, I'm sure you'll get it this time, yeah? So what ads are we doing today? Who are we selling out to? The Sleeping Widow. Don't they make coffins? Who sold that slot? Adam? Tell them to refund it. We're not running an ad for them right now. It's terribly insensitive, that. What else have we got? The Tipsy Gopher. I love it. The Tipsy Gopher, that's just a fun name. Brewer of slightly irradiated beer. Sounds good to me. Ready to go? Where's the script? Alright. Tipsy Gopher, take one. Now here's a story for you. The world's over. Everyone's gone, plague is running wild, monsters lurk outside the door, folks lose their minds and start going Jack the Ripper on everyone. It's easy to drown in despair out here. It's easy to lose yourself. But we all have something. Something that anchors us to this life. Something we hold on to that keeps us human. For many, it's that feeling that we can get back to the world that was. It's not an easy task, but we will get there one step at a time. So hold on tight to your anchor. Stay human. Strive to make the world better. In any way you can. Alright, first take. Are you sure that's the right script though? They didn't rightfully advertise their business. It was. Alright, well, if that's what they wanted to advertise. Tipsy Gopher. I appreciate them doing that. Can we get a man over there? I should like to make a deal with them. Where are they anyway? Xiaolong Canyon. That's out of the way, but we can manage it. Anyway, what's next in the pile? What's this? The circus. Really? Fine. When was the last time you saw a halfway decent show? When did you last see a beast of our wasteland inspire awe in place of terror? Have you had any real cotton candy lately? Shouldn't you like a little fun before the end and a sugar rush to boot? Well, wonderful news! You're saved from the depressing reality of the wasteland by Derek and Nate's Pirate Circus. Come see the terrible beasts of the wasteland from the far lands and meet the brave heroes who captured them. Come witness Betty, the three-trunked elephant, Albert the chimera, and Jordan, the tamer of abominations. Not to mention a whole host of freaks to delight, wonder, and disgust. Come to our tent south of Outhouse Road. And we're back. I'm terribly sorry to have kept you waiting. It's time now for more of the latest goings-on in our post-apocalyptic wasteland. Let's look at something a little light-hearted. I think it's time for us to open Miss Bean's box. It seems Miss Beans has developed a most peculiar habit. As you well know, she's keen on finding her way into the cabinets of our kitchen, usually hiding amongst the cans. Lately, the cans that she hides among have been turning up missing. This has been an occurrence for the past few days, yet it was not until this day that we discovered the fate of these cans. I discovered a kind of lair within our equipment storage. Piles of cans, corn, tuna, mystery soups, and bloated danger cans arranged in neat rows. Perched on a box above these cans was my dear friend Miss Beans, curled in a ball, sleeping warmly and soundly. I must admit, I let her keep her cans, though she cannot keep them forever. Food is, after all, a rare, valuable commodity. Though, to be fair to my friend, I think I should like to try something. I intend to offer her coins that I've endeavored to fashion from old cans in exchange for her hoarded cans. This, as she has an affinity for the coins of the world that was, that is stronger than her affinity for cans. I'll inform you as to the success or failure of this endeavor shortly. In the meantime, I think it's time we close Miss Bean's box for today, as we continue with more useful news to you, my faithful listeners. For our next piece, let's talk survival. More accurately, let's talk survival cooking. More specifically, let's talk quality survival culinary. Most of us haven't had a decent meal since the world ended, living off the scraps of the world past or risking contaminated meat hunted from our new furry friends. Often bland or bitter, these meals leave us wanting. However, thanks to a kind soul traveling the wastes, I know a few things you can do to better your meals. Onions. A staple to society of the world that was. There was no end to their flexibility, utility, from eating them alone, chopped and cooked with butter or roasted over a fire, to topping your burgers or salads. These flavorful roots were a fundamental part of our diets. Ever since the incident, however, onions have been out of our meals. They took to absorbing the radiation from the soils much too well, and became lethal to any who would ingest them. However, thanks to an anonymous friend of the studio, we've come in contact with HLM Labs, a unique facility beyond our broadcasting range to the north. These brilliant minds have developed an onion resistant to radiation that, even if planted within tainted soil, would be mostly harmless. To the surprise and joy of this studio, HLM Labs has agreed to distribute these seeds across inhabited areas of the wasteland, going so far as to ship a crate of 5,000 seeds to the studio. Well, we appreciate the gesture. We are not farmers. We should keep a small number of the seeds for our garden, but the remainder will be distributed to all surviving settlements. HLM Labs intends to begin negotiating with farming communities in the near future. These onions are very much like Vidalia onions of the world that was. A slight taste difference, but very nearly identical. A touch of good news in these difficult times. Something we all needed. So prepare your grounds, my farming friends. You've a new crop to grow. One that is, without a doubt, in high demand. Moving on. It's no secret that this world is a dangerous place. People have grown desperate and taken to helping themselves to your stuff when you're least prepared. Stay ready. Stay informed with the latest reported bandit movements. From our anonymous sources, we're aware of 5 active bandit groups within our broadcasting range. The same 5 as yesterday's report. These groups include the Wolf Paw, the Scar, the Fire Bottle, the Knoll, the Mugs. An uneasy peace continues as the Wolf Paw and the Shar Fire Bottle Alliance hunker down through the storm. We have limited intelligence this time regarding these groups, though we do maintain reasonable suspicion that these three titans will clash terribly soon, likely when it is most inconvenient for everybody else. Meanwhile, the Null Mug Alliance continues to hold Oakland, their gates open to souls displaced by the storm. According to our anonymous source within, the two groups have been arming with heavier gear, better protection, and ramping up training. It is unclear if they're preparing to assault an unknown location or if that they anticipate a raid by the NSD or AMM, the latter being the likely of the two, as both the NSD and AMM have posted armed patrols surrounding the settlement. We have no other information regarding this particular situation. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. It's time now for the evening radio music, but before we go, I should like to leave you with the afternoon puzzler. Did you discover yesterday's answer? I'll remind you of the question. The question was, can February march? The answer, no, but April may. Congratulations to any who solved that one. Today's puzzler is as follows. What do you call an elephant that doesn't matter? Think about it, and tune in tomorrow for the answer. As I said a moment ago, we're out of time now, at the top of the hour. We're going to run a few commercials, but we'll be right back with those smooth evening tunes. Thank you, my faithful listeners, for tuning in. And if you're truly out there, good luck. And we're clear. Well done, everyone. Except you, waving your hands like a madman at the door. What do you want? What's this? A letter. Letter from AMM representative, Lieutenant Blair. We are commandeering the studio for AMM interests. Force may be used. Evacuate in. When did you get this? Oh, they're at the gates now. Alright. Go into lockdown procedures, ensure everybody's armed and prepared, then not to step foot in the studio, and do me a favor. Deliver this for me. Can I borrow your pen? Thank you. Dear Lieutenant May Honey, bite my glowing, irradiated cheeks, you salvager biscuit. There we are. Use the drop system to deliver that. What's that, Jenny? What do you mean we're still live?
21.
My faithful listeners, I must apologize. We're experiencing some technical difficulties. We'll be right back after these commercial messages. Jenny, hit the orange button on the left to go to commercial.
Is anyone listening? 3:24.